This segment of the 13 mic debrief is about change and how to lead it. As a student, I came across a book, The Heart of Change by John P. Kotter and Dan S. Cohen. This book provides an 8-step process to administer change in large organizations. Kotter is internationally recognized as an authority of change and has authored several books on this subject. There are other YouTube videos that explain the heart of change. The difference between those videos and the series of videos posted here on the 13 mic debrief is I added how I use this method and concepts at the flight level. I have used this technique several times. It was very efficient at changing policies and procedures at the tactical level for airfield operations. Also, I've used this method to change the cultures of 3 separate flights. I didn't make these changes for the sake of it or due to my preferences. I did it because these flights harbored toxic environments and change was required. This video is the first of a series of videos that summarizes Kotter's and Cohen's Heart of Change. Video 1 covers the first step to increase urgency. The second video goes over step 2, building a guiding team, and step 3, get the vision right. Video 3 covers steps 4 and 5, communicate for buy-in, and empower action. Video 4 will finish out with steps 6, 7, and 8. Create short wins, don't let up, and make a change stick. The theme of this method is what Kotter describes as the flow of see, feel, change. For people to accept or make changes, they must see, feel, then change. Analysis can shift the way people think, but isn't enough to get them to change behavior. People need to be shown a truth to influence their feelings, to make a change, and to make the adjustment stick. And the first step of this adventure is to increase urgency. Step 1 of Kotter and Cohen's method of change is increase urgency. The point in this step is to foster a feeling of urgency so that significant members of the flight start telling each other, we must do something about the problem and that it needs to be changed. Okay, here is my 2 cents. In this stage, understanding the reasoning behind what drove the change is important. The flight needs to understand why change is required. Changes that come from the top, such as AFI changes, higher headquarter policy changes, and local senior leadership direction, must have an explanation. Often, why is not explained in the memo. The why is analyze based, and it does not compel a sense of urgency to change. You need to ask for the reasoning or the commander's intent. The explanation will help you translate the reasoning into a call for action and produce a let's do this attitude. This step of increasing urgency is the foundation of this technique and provides the energy to carry the team through the process. The sense of urgency, once generated, must not fizz out. Tending to this emotion is similar to tending a campfire. Okay, going back to Kotter and Cohen's technique, they emphasize there are 4 behaviors that will derail any movement towards change. And they are complacency, immobilization, anger towards change, and a pessimistic attitude. False pride, arrogance, laziness, or acceptance with the status quo causes complacency. Immobilization is self-protection and hiding caused by panic or fear of the prospect of change. Anger towards change will generate "you can't make me move" defiance. And lastly, a very pessimistic attitude leads to constant hesitation. Okay, here's my 2 cents again. Most people did not join the Air Force to suck at their jobs. They want to be part of the best. Lack of trust in leadership, unsuccessful attempts at change, and toxic people or environments are fuel for these behaviors. If able, convert these behaviors into positive energy that will lead to a can-do attitude. Here are a few ways Kotter and Cohen suggest to combat these behaviors. Showing the flight the need for change with a compelling object that they can see, touch, and feel. I believe this tenet is very important in producing the emotional desire for change. Additionally, showing the flight valid and dramatic evidence from outside agency that demonstrate that change is needed. Looking constantly for cheap and easy ways to reduce complacency. Never underestimate how much complacency, fear, and anger regarding change exist in the flight. Here are a few things that don't work. Focusing on building a rational business-type case, getting leadership approval, and racing ahead while ignoring the feelings that will block change. Ignoring this step and proceeding to create vision and a strategy. Believing that without a crisis or an emergency, you cannot make change happen. Thinking that you can do little if you're not in charge or in command. Okay, that is it for this segment of the 13 Mic Debrief. I must give a shout out to the folks at the Macro Room for providing material which I use for the background video. And I downloaded from YouTube. Go check them out, they're great. For the next part of this video series, I will cover steps 2 and 3. See ya.